Sup guys, Bo here again. In this entry I want to talk about a process called grounding, right? And one of my friends mentioned this to me last night on the phone, and I thought it would be a relevant topic to tell you guys because it's a very rewarding process, right? So I'll start by explaining what grounding is, and then I'll move on to, where it might be useful and how you can start to learn to to adopt this process in your life, right? So what is grounding? Grounding is essentially putting yourself in a space of energetic stability, right? It's putting yourself in a place of energetic self-sustainability, right? If you think about a car, when a car is in neutral, so like a manual transmission car, if you put the car in neutral and you turn the engine on, then the car hums away, but it's at a very kind of comfortable level, right? It's not off. The engine isn't off, so that it's not ready to move. It's in a state of readiness, so it can move at any time, but it's not like wasting energy. So that's a good analogy for what grounding is, right? And so why is this important, right? Well, typically in our society, particularly if you live in like a really hectic city like London, right? Our energy is being dragged all over the place constantly, particularly if you have to commute into the centre and you're on the tube and things like that. Or you're just in like a busy kind of shopping district like Oxford Circus or something like that, and there's so much shit that's distracting you, and you go into a pub like with your mates and you hang out with your mates. You're at like a club or like something like that, and there's just so much that basically is attempting to drag your energy away from you, away from your place of centeredness. Because when you're by yourself, and imagine sitting by yourself in your room, and you just feel so chill and so relaxed, and you feel great. Well, I don't know. I'm an introvert, so I don't know if it's the same for more extroverted people, but I feel really amazing when I'm in that state of just centeredness and peace, inner peace. And basically, the process of grounding is the process of taking that grounded state, that kind of home base in terms of energy, and taking it with you wherever you go, so that you're in a place of readiness, but you're also in a state of calm, right? And so this advice is particularly useful for people who are tend to be more kind of empathic. I'm I guess quite an empathic person. I tend to overanalyze and be self-conscious about how people think about me. And so typically before, I'm a lot better now, but a year ago my energy was a lot more kind of scattered. When I go out, I'd be kind of very scattered. I'd be kind of trying to connect with lots of different things at once, and kind of lose my grounding and just fall over energetically, right? And when you learn to ground, basically that you learn to stabilize your energy and not be dragged around so much. And there's the term energy vampires, which you might have heard of. And essentially an energy vampire is someone who sucks your energy. Analogous to a real vampire who sucks blood. An energy vampire is someone who sucks energy off you. But the truth is, an energy vampire can only suck your energy if you let them, right? So, in order for them to take your energy, you must be allowing them in some sense. You must be offering your energy to them, right? So, what I'm saying is, your energy is yours to manage. No one can take your energy if you don't let them, right? Your energy is yours. No one can actually take your energy unless you offer it them. So when you're not grounded, like I mentioned, you're distracted. You feel very self-conscious. You feel very anxious. You feel very nervous. Your energy is very high. Usually, it's very kind of hysterical. You're very hysterical, and you're kind of all over the place. You might not be all over the place inside, but on the inside you feel like it's chaos. You feel like it's a war zone inside of you, right? And what this means is you're in an unstable place to act in. You know, when you're interacting with people and you're not in a grounded state, like you're in a very hysterical, kind of scattered, distracted, high energy, unstable state, then you tend to kind of have to overcompensate. Like you tend to be more fake, if that makes sense. You feel like you have to basically, yeah, you feel like you have to, you know, give extra. So, you know, when you interact with people in that kind of unresourceful state, then that's when people have issues of, like, you know, I feel like I have to present a mask to people. You know, I feel like I have to be fake to people in order for them to like me. I feel that people don't like me for who I truly am, because there's a difference between who you are sitting in your room by yourself listening to your favorite music and the person who is out socializing with people, like, you know, just dancing about, like, energetically, right? And just generally, you know, the decisions you make won't be resourceful for yourself. You know? You'll make decisions that are kind of self-destructive because you're not doing it from a space of stability, right? So there's a lot of benefits to becoming grounded, right? So first, how do we become grounded, right? Well, the first thing that you have to do is to establish a grounded state, right? Before you can actually tap into that state, you have to actually build that state, right, from scratch. And if you're a very kind of ungrounded person, then that's going to take a bit of work, you know, as I kind of was when I'm out and about with people, right? And essentially what that boils down to is spending time for yourself, you know, allocating time for yourself, right? And really, it's the first kind of step is to change your thinking, your life style, such that you can start to build this home state. Because what you're after is like a state of stability, like a feeling of stability, and you get that from basically spending time with yourself and kind of changing aspects of your life such that you feel more comfortable. Right. So this involves becoming more sensitive, right? Following your joy, you know, doing things that you love, things you're passionate about that make you feel good. You know, light motivations. Accepting your darkness, so like going into your shadow motivations, and, you know, just generally your negativity in terms of your emotions, and basically finding ways to validate that, and you know, not to attack it, like I say, not to judge yourself, not to attack yourself, but to look at it in a different light, to transform them into, you know, healthy light-based motivation. It's getting darker. It involves eating right, you know, eating healthy foods and not eating shitty junk, like not eating processed foods, not eating like fast food, oily food, you know, things like that. Eating fruit, veg, you know, wholesome foods that are natural. It involves exercising, you know, having a regular exercise routine and kind of regime, you know. Like you can refer to, I have a video that I made about exercise. So you can refer to that for a good kind of exercise regime for like just a casual kind of exerciser. Maintaining hygiene and cleanliness of your environment. So, you know, taking extra care when you're washing yourself, maintaining your presentation, cleaning your environments, like cleaning your environment regularly, not living in like a pigsty. Building a healthier lifestyle that promotes kind of higher consciousness, and, you know, not like staying away from things like mind-numbing escapism and like entertainment and shit like that. And, you know, just generally tweaking aspects of your lifestyle that basically are conducive to you being in a flow state. So if you can imagine like waking up and all of the chores have been done, like all of the mundane stuff has been done, and you're like how, like, you would feel amazing, right? Like if like the kitchen sink was clean, if like all of the shit that you had to do, admin stuff was done, you know, like there was a breakfast waiting for you there, or, you know, yeah, just think, so like these little things that you can do the night before, for example, that like basically put you into a flow state early the next day, so you have like a good day the next day. So it's just improving your kind of batting average, I guess you could say. So yeah, so that's how you build So that's how you build a a state of groundedness, right? And then you can start to take that feeling. So you take that feeling state of being grounded, feeling safe, feeling at home, and you start to take that out with you when you go out, right? So when you're out, you basically keep that feeling close to you. And when you would otherwise be tempted to, have your energy be dragged somewhere, you can shift your attention to something, right? You can focus on something, like visually, like in terms of your senses, but you don't have to focus on it energetically, right? You don't have to basically give your energy to that thing, right? So what this involves is basically when you go out, like you can still check things out, and you'll realize that like when your energy is not so dragged, you actually have more attention. You can actually focus on more things, like sensationally. So it's just going out and practicing, basically not having your energy being dragged everywhere. So this might involve a bit of practice to basically connect the state with the action. So I refer you to my video about rituals. This is essentially a ritual, right? When you go out and ground, it's like connecting. Connecting that state of groundedness with something. With a mindset, or or something, and being able to tap into that, on command, basically. So go out and practice, being in busy environments and not being affected by it energetically, just practicing being chill, basically, being cool and calm, and not kind of distracted like the average person is, right? And if you are being distracted, make sure it's distraction within yourself, so it's like something that you care about, right? Because a lot of the time as well, it's like when we're ungrounded, it's like we're focusing too much. Because like I said, in society, we're socially conditioned into basically checking out what other people are doing all the time, thinking about what other people are doing all the time, comparing ourselves to other people. And really, it's like, it's reeling it back in. It's bringing it all back in so that like your focus is centered on yourself, energetically. So, how to practice this? Well, and particularly if you're in kind of an erratic state, like if your feet are not in a good mood and things like that, like the first thing to do is to kind of drop what you're doing, right? If it's really kind of stressing you out and dragging your energy about, then stop what you're doing, right? Just take a break, breathe deeply, right? Breathe. Maybe not as exaggerated as that, but like just slow your breathing down. Make sure you're breathing deeply. And then get up and move, right? Get up and move somewhere, like take a walk, do something. I don't know, strike some cool poses. Whatever. Like I like to do funny poses, in front of the mirror and stuff. I don't know, just have just loosen yourself up, basically. Validate your feelings, right? Particularly if you're in a bad feeling state. Like this is if you're in like a bad mood. Or if someone has triggered you, like it's the language that people use when someone makes you, like there's like an emotional attack. Like you have to basically not try and push it down, so not try and resist it. Take deep breaths, and then just kind of sit with the feeling, right? Sit with the feeling, and then start to kind of have internal dialogue, right? So you might start to acknowledge it. So like, I'm fucking angry right now. Like you might not even have to say it out, but like just think it, I'm fucking angry right now, or I'm fucking depressed, or I'm fucking jealous, whatever it is, And then just sit with that. Breathe. Breathing is important. Breathe. And just like, so that you're not kind of holding it in and resisting. When you resist something, usually your breath becomes shallow. So do that. And then you can use a technique that, which basically involves kind of questioning through your feeling state, if it's particularly bad. So this might involve basically like if you're like, I'm angry. And then you might start to ask, why am I angry? Like that's one thing. Why am I angry? And just be completely fucking blunt with it. Like don't try and, if you find yourself kind of like trying to evade like the issue, then you're resisting it. But yeah, so last thread of light. Yeah. So and then start to ask yourself, why is it bad for me to feel this way, right? I believe this is called. When I was talking to my friend yesterday. It's called like cognitive behavioral therapy, behavioral therapy, CBT. So it's a form of that where you basically start to delve into your feeling state and you start to question. Basically you're trying to shift perspective, right? You're trying to change your perspective and like detach yourself from like the unresourceful perspective and starting to see it in like a good way. So you do that, and then start to focus on things that make you feel good, right? Start to positively focus. Once you've validated your feeling state and you start to feel better about it, start to focus energetically on things that make you feel good. So like themes that you like, cute things or bubbly things or hot or awesome, cool things, whatever makes you feel good, anchor yourself with those positive feeling symbols, right? And then once you've done that, like once you start to feel good, then you should feel yourself starting to return to a state of calm. So like basically start to feed into that calm state. Gently turn your energy down, because you'll notice that before you're grounded, your energy was high. Like your energy starts to drop down to like a reasonable, comfortable threshold. And then once you're there, you're in a grounded state. So from there, you'll know, right? Essentially, because you will feel great. You'll feel kind of calm and relaxed, right? So, in a sense, there is an aspect of kind of becoming less sensitive when you're becoming grounded, because you're becoming less sensitive to the things around you. And I mentioned, I keep saying that it's a bad thing to be insensitive, but in this sense, it's good because you're being less sensitive but in a resourceful way. So it actually helps you to be less sensitive in these situations. When there's a lot of distraction and muck, like energetic filth in the air, like around you, then, it's useful to kind of return to your own. Another way of thinking about it is becoming less sensitive to your external environment and becoming more sensitive to yourself and grounding your energetic your energy, your feeling, your sensitivity within yourself, right? And the more you practice this, the more that you will be able to tap into it, and the more you'll become like a chill motherfucker, basically. And who doesn't like a chill motherfucker, really? Like, you might be thinking, oh, if I become too chill, then people will think I'm boring. Like, that's a major gripe that people have, like a major kind of concern, is when they're out with people, they're scared that if they're too calm, particularly introverts, right? I'm an introvert. Like, when you go out and you kind of don't really say anything and just sit there, that you're boring and uninteresting. But actually, if you're doing it from a grounded state, so if you're doing it from a comfortable, safe, home, like centered state, then you're being authentic. And people feel that, right? Other people can feel that. But other people, like, they don't think you're boring at all. They don't think you're uninteresting at all. They're just like, wow, this guy's really cool. Like, he's really chill. He doesn't really give a fuck about a lot of shit. Like, nothing kind of phases him. I really like this guy, So that's a perspective for you, right? And, it's great, I've been doing it a lot. Not so much recently, because I've been going out so much recently, but, like, I can basically tap into a grounded state whenever I want to. Like, obviously, there's always room for improvement, but, like, the more you make it habitual, the more, you can tap into it, and the more it'll become like a home base to you. And, you can go out there in the world and nothing will faze you, essentially. Unless, except for, like, the really scary things, but... yeah, and, you won't have to be, like, a nervous, anxious wreck all the time, Your energy will welcome people. And you'll be so much... You can make decisions and you can live life from such an awesome place. And I don't know if you notice, but when I make these videos, like, most of the time I'm in a grounded state, And you wouldn't be able to tell that I was, like, a natural introvert by, like, how much I'm saying, because I'm just talking from a space of centeredness. Like, I'm talking about things that I enjoy, things I care about, and I'm just focused on my own kind of positivity within, I'm drawing state, as some pickup guys might say, like RSD, drawing state from within. And, using that to, just fueling myself off of that, as opposed to, like, all the nervous, like, yeah, like highly charged energy from outside. So cool. Hope that it was helpful. It's a great practice to have, just to learn to be a happier person, essentially, a more kind of fulfilled person. So cool. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment section below, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.